Hello, everybody. Yeah, the sun has come out. We just wrapped the big event, the big keynote, and there are still some more events going on later today and, of course, the next couple of days. But the big takeaways, and, we already kind of went through some of the biggest things to expect, and pretty much everything that we expected was there. But I want to go through some of the big takeaways because, Sundar Pichai and, nearly half a dozen of these executives got on stage and they talked about one thing in particular, which was privacy and control. I want to start with that as one of the biggest takeaways right now, because while they do want to make all of our smartphones smarter and more helpful through their platforms like Google Assistant and Google, they do want to focus more on privacy. And we know this has been a big key for tech companies, not only from F8 last week, but also, of course, with Apple. Here's what Google's been saying about how it's been trying to step up its privacy game and its control game specifically. So in the future, when you get one of your new phones from Google, or if you update your Maps app, for example, you're actually going to be able to go into an incognito mode. For those of you who use Chrome browsers or other browsers, you can go into kind of a private mode. Now, for a lot of us, if you think about just how much we're using our maps to search for places we're going, it's a big deal that these companies might know where we are. Apple's been pushing this in their own Apple Maps app, saying that they never look at our exact location, either where we are or where we're going. So this is a really big new feature that we're going to be looking forward to here from Google, this incognito mode. The other controls that the company has been trying to push into now in these new software updates is the ability to delete some of the data automatically. So, for example, in your search results, you're going to be able to set a timer, basically 3 months, let's say, or 8 months, where at that point in time, all of your search results will be cleared. That's something that has previously not been available before, but it's something that we can now be able to control in our Google searches. One of the other things that we've been listening to with Apple is the idea that they are able to do a lot of the data processing on the device itself, on the iPhone itself. Well, now Google wants to be able to do the same thing, and that's why they've been, in some ways, pushing into the hardware space itself, so that Google can also be processing this information on device. They're calling it federated learning. One of the components here, which essentially allows Google to collect the data and store it on the device and not move it up into the cloud. Accessibility was also a big theme. A lot of features now that allows those with speech impairments to be able to use voice assistants. If you have had a stroke, let's say, or if you've always had that problem, these voice assistants are now going to be able to understand you, which I think is really cool. Some of the fun things and surprises. Number one, there was a plane flying overhead the entire event with a sign that says that Google control is not privacy and save local news. It was really loud in a very quiet theater when we were listening to the event, and that was circling ahead the whole time. There was also a little bit of singing toward the end, and we apparently have learned that it was actually one of the performances practicing, so that wasn't anything of a protest. But then other fun things that we've learned today, Google Lens will now be able to show you things in real life. So if you're searching for a shark, for example, and they had this on screen, on stage, they would put the shark onto, let's say, the stage, and basically using augmented reality to fuse the digital and the physical experience, which I think for a lot of us might be really fun. Other uses, with shopping, you can look at a pair of shoes online, and then you can put it into your living room and see how your shoes actually match or don't match your outfit, which is kind of fun. There is going to be a foldable Pixel phone coming. I know we were just talking about that as well. And maybe the most annoying thing for those of us who have timers for Google Home devices, really soon now, you're going to be able to tell them the timer to just stop, instead of having to go and actually touch the screen and tell it to stop. So I think that was really fun as well. One last thing on accessibility. The big benefit to having an Android phone is that a lot of manufacturers make it, and they want to be able to have those who can't afford more expensive phones use their services. So in places where phones are a little bit cheaper, let's say in India, they're going to be able to push some of these services out there, and accessibility is going to be a big deal as well. So overall here, Google trying to push this message of privacy just like these other tech companies are, and trying to be more helpful and a lot smarter with their software.